Hello everybody, and I hope you like that introduction. Now, we're doing the Holy Roman Empire, as you will know. Now, you'll be a little bit surprised. If you look at the description of my other videos, you'll see that the Holy Roman Empire is played by Surrealbeliefs1, and I play the Khwarezmian Empire. Now, Surreal has dropped out for whatever reason, and now I am the Holy Roman Empire. Now, we're going to be today not looking in too depth into the strategical map aspects, because of course I want to keep that quite, I think you understand, I want to keep that a little bit secretive. So we're going to shrink the map down to something quite small, something like this. Okay, so now this video, I'm going to use the ideas I would have had for the Holy Roman Empire before I came into power of it. So we're going to go ahead and think of it as Surreal playing this faction. Right. Obviously, first of all, I've always said take this settlements here, take the Netherlands, a bit of Belgium, and then take these settlements, of course, if you can. So let's say that in a couple of turns, Holy Roman Empire, I'm not going to refer to it as myself, Holy Roman Empire takes this land here, one here, and even some land east after about 4 or so turns. Now, big issue are these two eastern powers, so you 100% want to get a strong line there, because if you've got this little zigzaggy line here, you're very vulnerable, because as the Holy Roman Empire, you border so many factions and you're so spread out, rather than obviously England just having a nice little concentrated area there, or the Moors having all these rebels next to it. Although I've got rebels surrounding my sides here, automatically turn 1 I border 1 faction, 2 faction, 3 factions, because remember there is a little settlement down there, so 3, 4, 5, basically I border that to 6, and I nearly border the French to 7. That's 7 factions. Now think about once you start taking rebel settlements, that number is going to jump up quite a bit. So you want to secure your eastern front, and then aim to secure your western front. I think western front may be a little bit more jagged, but you definitely want to keep something like when I'm drawing like this as this territory all for the Holy Roman Empire. Now obviously the south is very fertile on Italy. Either ally with them or crush them, so you got this very middle section, and then you probably want to push north, take this, eventually push west as this is closer to the end of the map, and then just work around like a nice little box like that. Now that's all the in detail I'm going to do about turns. Now I'd say ally with Legend here, because Legend's going to take over Britannia in no time, probably even this section of the map, because Scotland's AI, rebels all border him there. So I'd say ally with him, ally with the French, then you've got a really triple entente here. Ally with the Moors, because for sure the Moors are going to try and overpower this area. And then you've got an ally, because this will be the Moors, so you've got an ally here in Europe, here and here. So that's very key. I say take either one of these two out, because they're very competitive, I believe. So take one of them out, so either or. And then obviously this is going to go long game. Take out all of this, ally the Byzantine Empire, and then work out on one of these two. But yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and jump in the map quite early on in the video, rather than my other videos on the series. Obviously, because it's my faction, I don't want to go too in depth. We're going to show you the units, so we're going to hurry up and hop into a medieval campaign map, and then after that we're showing you the units. So let's show you what I actually start off with. Right, so obviously credit to Stainless Steel team. Now we're here. Now as you can see, we start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 settlements. Now obviously you're going to see Bologna here is quite separate. If we go ahead and go, just to show you guys what the map really looks like, toggle photo, you'll see what everything starts off with. So as you see, there's a couple of diplomats and merchants here of Venice. So there's no direct access over Venetians to our territory. Obviously a general might just be able to make it, and his men will not be able to. You see, they'll end up on Venetian turf, so you don't want that. You might be saying, oh, it's really good that Milan's here as a rebel settlement, but really it's not. Now, the good thing is, I think the Genoese are going to try and push for Milan, but look at that garrison. It's a very strong city to take, even as AI. That's going to be quite hard and costly. Bern, quite similar. It's got 2 mailed knights, 2 spearmen, 2 crossbow militia, and more spearmen. It's probably in a siege. This army right here could probably even take it out. just because the sheer amount of infantry units I have will overpower theirs, but those crossbowmen will become dangerous. Obviously, first turn, you want to probably take all the units you can. You probably want to take Groningen as soon as possible, just to secure this frontier really here. And then obviously push up to Mertz, because right now there's a massive indent here, and that's basically, if you get your force coming from here, it's basically like a horse wedge formation that's just going to push through here and push over the Rhine. So from Frankfurt, you want to go ahead and push up to Mertz and take that. You can do that here by sending your army from Staufen with reinforcements from a little bit from Cologne and from Frankfurt. Now, obviously, Bern, you want to keep this area quite on your eye, because 3 settlements here along the Rhine, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously Groningen 5. Basically, this whole Rhine area is unpopulated. So, take out Metz, then I would say leave Bern. I mean, look at that, it's quite strong. And take Dijon. Now, once you've taken Dijon, so you've got this little rebel settlement in here. By that time, I reckon Milan will be Genoan, and if you just take these settlements here, obviously easier said than harder said than done. Easier said than done. Sorry, that's the saying. Easier said than done. And then you want to focus on trying to capture Bern. I'd say this side, the only thing you really want to get is hurry up and take Prague. You probably want to. That's the only thing you really want to do, because if you look here at Vienna, it's quite far east, sorry, it's very close to Poland and Hungary, so you want to have it strong. So either you take Zagreb and Prague, or you take Izhevstet and Prague, because Venice may even look to push to Zagreb. Obviously Venice is quite spread out with these 2 settlements here. This settlement Bologna you probably just want to recruit up. But let's take a look at the faction tree. So we've got Emperor Heinrich here, age 50. He's got quite a couple of good traits here. And he's got some dread, quite a lot of dread. That's not a lot. And we have, this is good. This is a young, not heir apparent apparently. He prefers his younger son. He's very loyal. This guy's less loyal, but he is, second son, not the greatest. These 2 are bound to have some children soon, so that's good. And this faction heir, not much better really than Leopold. So it's strange that the faction's chosen Prince Heinrich. Probably because he's named Heinrich as well. But I'd say Babenberg, Leopard Babenberg is a lot of a better choice. Now, you could, in theory, push up in 2 turns and try and take Arthas from the Danes, but I mean, that's going to be quite hard to do it very early on. But now that you've seen kind of the campaign map and what I started off with here, I'm going to jump ahead into the game. And now remember, it's early era, stainless steel 6.4, and I'm going to show you the units. And yes, let's hop into the game right now. Okay, well now that we're here on the battle map, let's just do this real quick so we can get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so split it up here into 2 unit sizes. So this angle, this force here is the early era, and you'll most likely be seeing the most of these guys in my campaign. Later on, you'll start seeing these upgraded units. So these units are probably not going to see too much. The religious fanatics, there's 75 of them, and they're classified as light infantry, quite useless. But don't nonetheless about that. Then you have your slightly better peasant infantry, which are about 30 more men as well in the unit size. Obviously led by this Holy Roman Empire's knight. Then you have your spearmen. Now these spear militia you're going to see a lot of there. They're already in your settlements mostly to start off with. They've got 76, and that's quite good. But then you've also got your spearmen sergeants, which is basically an upgraded version of them. So that's very nice. But then you have these guys, which are just spearmen, not militia spearmen. Spear militia, sorry. So they're the sort of in between. So it goes spear militia, spearmen, spear sergeants, if that makes sense. Alright, these guys are doing funny poses. And then you have your burgher pikemen. These guys can form your spear wall. They're really epic and useful against cav, and has your front line as they're very large in force size. Now, if you look here, you have also got the peasant crossbowmen. Now, they're a little bit worse than the archers, even the levy archers, because they are skirmishers. Obviously take longer to reload, smaller unit size than its competitors on this side, and need close distance. These guys are a little bit better considering they're archers, but for statistics they just got longer range and faster reload time. Now this is the best light cav there is, and the only light cav there is. If you look here, it's the mounted sergeants, which is basically the sergeants, but as you might have guessed, mounted. So just look at that Holy Roman Empire flag. Really epic. I like the flag. Alright, I think I've gone over the spearman side. Yes, we have. Cool. Now you got 3 units in the back there, missile, and of course your 2 specials there, and your military infantry. So here we have just mailed foot knights. They're probably the least best of your heavy infantry, but of course they're sort of spearmen sergeants but with swords. Then you've got your feudal foot knights, and then further on you've got your foot rubiters. So feudal foot knights is the next step up. These are your nobles, as you see, carrying the sigils of their houses, and they kind of have a little crusade cross on their shirt, showing their Christian faith, but really looking really nice, those units. I really like them. Let's just look at them. Very eager and showing his butt. And then you've got your epic. These are your foot Ritterbruders, I don't know. But they are amazingly strong. They're very good heavy infantry. We can see they're very heavily armed. You can see by this guy's shield, very long kited shields to protect. They're also nobles, but these guys, I think, as you can see, are very dedicated to Christianity as well. Now you've got your 2 specials. Obviously you've got your catapult, which is your artillery, and you've got more ballista and sort of your field artillery. So once again, recommend artillery for the forts and things like that, and the catapult artillery for sieges. Okay, cool. Then you've got your actual archers. Look at this guy, he's already scoping in. These guys also 61, a lot better as they, when run out of ammo, which they have more of than your levy archers, they have shields and swords which they can fight with, longer range, etc. Lots of better stats, and of course their awesome leader, which this guy, I mean, he's basically one of these guys, right? Maybe even, nah, he doesn't have those dope horns, but they're really good. So they're just chilling there. Now here's the interesting part. You got 3 units, 2 of the size of 32, and then obviously the general's bodyguard size of 16. You've got your mailed knights, which is basically the mailed knights with obviously their long shields, which are very helpful to protect themselves. But these guys are your basic infantry. They're an upgraded infantry from the mounted sergeants. They're just heavy cav instead. But then you've got, this will be your best cav apart from obviously your general. These are the Ritterbruders, and obviously these guys are the foot Ritterbruders. So they're once again those really epic nobles with those massive long nice lances and the bull shields here, and obviously shields of their own house and regiment. Very epic looking, and then they're sort of integrated as well into the general's bodyguard, which are just the elite of the elite, of course, having the boosted morale of their general. Now obviously because I don't have a general selected for this battle, there's no special general. Now those are your units, the early era and late era. We're not going to be popping back into any campaign map or anything. This is the structure of the video. You know how it goes. Check out, I've done Egypt, I've done Denmark, I've done the Turks, and now fourthly I'm doing the Holy Roman Empire. So this is a Wednesday series. Every Wednesday this comes out. So I want to make you all thank you for watching. Thanks for looking at that new intro, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.